As professional coaches, we at CrossFittersville, we hear all kinds of completely ridiculous, totally BS reasons for people to skip workouts. And in this episode of the podcast, we'll lay out three of the really common, really nonsensical, really BS reasons that should never, ever, ever, ever be a reason that you miss a workout. We'll give you the real talk. Tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
Welcome back to a new episode of the podcast. I'm Coach G, one of the coaches here at CrossFit Edwardsville. And in today's episode of the podcast, we're going to reveal three of the most absurd and worst reasons people sometimes use for skipping workouts. Because we hear, as professional health and fitness coaches, we hear all the different rationalizations and reasons and excuses people have. Well, some of them are just head and shoulders a little bit dumber than the other ones. So let's get right into it. The first completely ridiculous reason that people would use to skip a workout, and one that you should never ever use if you're talking to one of our coaches, is I'll just make it up later. What do we mean? This comes in a couple different flavors. I'll make it up later could be I had planned to do a morning workout, but I'm going to skip this workout. I'll go in the evening. This is a lie that we tell ourselves when I don't feel like exercising right now in the morning. I'm going to create this imaginary future event where I'll suddenly feel more motivated. It'll be more convenient for me. I'll feel like it. It'll be easier for me to exercise in the evening after I've skipped my morning workout. That's just not how human psychology works. It is 100% a lie people tell themselves, believing that, well, if I just wait until later, things will be easier. Once you set a precedent or a track record of skipping your workout, once you've told yourself it's okay not to exercise now, it's okay not to follow my game plan, and instead I'll just create some different game plan where I can deal with this in the future, it actually creates this really terrible track record with yourself where you actually know that you've lied to yourself and you know that you've skipped workouts, and then it creates the possibility of skipping them again in the future. When you get to that evening time, you're still going to have distractions. You're still going to have competing priorities. It'll just be different distractions and different competing priorities, more likely than not. So working out later today instead of now, when you're supposed to, if you had scheduled a morning workout, is a lie. And it can actually, this terrible reason to skip a workout, I'll make it up later, comes in a couple different and far more sinister forms as well. One of them is, well, I'm not going to work out today, but that's okay. I'll do 2 workouts tomorrow instead. This creates what is probably an unrealistic and highly impractical alternative trajectory where you tell yourself that suddenly tomorrow you're going to have twice the time to exercise. You'll be twice as motivated to do it. You'll be willing to stop doing what you're doing right now and go exercise, not just once, but twice in the same day, possibly having a shower twice to be able to look presentable to go to your job or to hang out with your family. It's really one of the most sinister lies a person can tell themselves, is that I can skip today and do twice tomorrow. It'll be the same effect. Actually, you could argue very easily that workouts are much more effective when dosed out as daily instead of twice on one day and then nothing for 2 days. So this is another really poor reason to skip a workout. The third flavor this can come in, and perhaps the most devastating of all, is the idea, well, I don't feel like working out right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the rest of my meals for today to offset the fact that I'm not exercising. By cutting down my food intake, I'm going to effectively punish myself. I'm going to skip my meals as a punishment for not doing this workout and everything will be okay. This creates this lie that people tell themselves, or this very destructive strategy that maybe they use, creates a really unhealthy relationship with food, where food is a reward for good behavior and a punishment for poor behavior. And it creates like an entirely negative association set with workouts, with exercise, and with food itself. Your relationship with food is one of the most important relationships you have in your entire life, and it should not be reduced to a snack or a treat that you throw yourself for good behavior, nor should it be treated as a punishment for bad behavior or a bad day, or when things go south or sour. If you have somebody says something hurtful to you at work, or you have a bad day at work, or you don't close the sale or whatever, food should not be the way that you punish yourself. You don't want to go down that route. So this whole idea of I'll make it up later is one of the worst reasons to skip a workout. Let's go to another one, another insidious one. I've got family coming to town. I don't know about you guys, but for so many people that I know, when they have family coming to visit them in town, that's when they really need to be at their best, to be energetic and positive and patient and stress tolerant and peaceful within themselves. If you skip your workout so you can spend extra time preparing for your family's visit in town, you're actually not going to be able to show up your best for them. As we all know, when people work out, they tolerate stress better. They're more patient. They're kinder. They're more loving. They're happier. They have that feel-good endorphin rush that carries them through stress and difficulty. You want to show up the best you can with your family. You need to do your workout, especially if it was a planned workout. Your family deserves to get the best version of you. And it's not just that, too. Like people that say, well, I've got family coming to town, so I'm going to skip my workout so I can spend extra time preparing. This is exactly the same thing as saying other people's opinions are more important to me than my own well-being, my own health and well-being. And that is a very dangerous thought process to have. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to think like that. You don't want to set that precedent if you want to have a long-term vibrant health. Additionally, a 1 hour workout is only 4% of your day. It's worth the investment to go do that workout, then return to your family and give them the best energized, happiest, and best version of yourself. If you have to say, cut to a 30-minute workout, it's only 2% of your entire day. And that 30-minute workout, that 2% of your day is going to make literally the other 98% way better. You'll have more energy to prepare for your family's visit, not less. You'll actually do better with the time that you have, not worse. So family in town should never be a reason to skip a workout. In fact, go one better and be a catalyst for positive change in the world. And if possible, bring your family with you so they can exercise alongside you as well. Even better, to involve them in the activity and make it a healthy, happy family group activity. That's family in town. And finally, the third terrible reason to skip your workout is social media scrolling or doom scrolling. And I can pretty well summarize this point as follows. If we check your phone and you have 2 hours a day of social media scrolling or doom scrolling, and you say you don't have time to exercise, you are lying to yourself. You have the time, you just reallocated it to a low value and potentially self-destructive activity. Nobody on planet Earth should spend hours scrolling social media if they haven't exercised. It's a complete misallocation of your time based on clearly screwed up priorities, or maybe you just haven't even thought about it. It's very easy to fall into the trap of doom scrolling when you're, idly laying in bed, or you have some time in between this appointment and that appointment. better to go and do a very brief workout or do a quick lap around the building, go outside, see the sun, get a quick walk in. It will do wonders for your emotional health, your mental health, your physical health, and keep you off of social media, which tends to compromise your mental health. Spending time doom scrolling or social media scrolling is a terrible reason to skip a workout or miss your workout. So to recap, for part 1, episode 1 of this series on the worst reasons to skip a workout, number 1, I'll make it up later and all the variations of that. Number 2, I got family in town. Number 3, social media or doom scrolling. Hey, if you need to learn more about how CrossFit Edwardsville and our coaching team can help you, find us on the socials, visit us at CrossFitEdwardsville.com and book a no sweat conversation so we can talk to you. We thank you for the gift of your time and your attention, and we will see you in the next episode of the podcast.